We should be up. We should be up.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
Let's hope we can stay live for more than 5 minutes.
I know, that was ridiculous.
That would be awesome.
That would be No, that wouldn't be awesome.
Well, it'd be awesome if we would stay,
Oh,
Stop
there we
it.
go. I hear us.
Stop it, stupid thing.
What's happening?
It's just my Hootsuite likes to do jacked up stuff.
Ah,
There, twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. There we go. We are live. Come join us for happy fun times.
we had to do a lot of loud talking last night at the show we recorded, so
Yeah.
I'm
So your throat is all weirded out.
I'm a shot right now.
We'll just be kind of chill. Hi, chat room. How you guys doing?
Let's see. Oh, I know what my problem is. That's why I didn't change this.
What? What are you doing?
I have to change my microphone. The settings on it. I had it on.
Oh, you had you had the room mic thing.
Yeah, I had the round table mic, as I like to call it.
Do not do that. Nope.
Midnight, thank you for pausing your Netflix Doctor Who marathon. What episode are you on?
You get to hear all the ConnectiCon fun. Don't worry. Nerdtacular and ConnectiCon. I did have a good birthday. Thank you. I am enjoying my new iPad mini. Yay! I love it.
You got an iPad mini?
I did. Kane got me one.
Did you have a regular iPad?
I had. Technically was not mine. It was Work's iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an iPad 2. So I took it with me, and I've been able to use it because we just haven't used it at work for probably 2-3 years now, and I've been using that. And I took it to Nerdtacular to do some play some Hearthstone and stuff, and it just couldn't handle
Really?
anything. It was really slow, and so I was like, oh, and I really wanted the mini because I want something small. And so I'd said that a while ago, but we just got done with Nerdtacular and all the expenses that around that, and I was like, I'm not expecting anything for my birthday. That was my birthday. Well, I got a surprise with that.
Kane won the lottery.
Did so? Yes. So I'm a big fan. I love it. So yeah, Kitty's kind of wandering around the room right now.
Gosh, cats are freaking me out already.
Cats are everywhere, and it's Huel. Is Huel home yet? Or is he still in Connecticut?
He's home. Huel's travel plans got all screwed up and screwed up my whole schedule. So
oh, really?
Huel told me one thing and another thing happened. It's crazy.
Are you supposed to pick him up?
Yeah, but then I didn't. But then, then I was going to again. Then I did. It's just.
And then I didn't.
Yeah, but then I didn't because he flew overnight. I don't know. Huel's the best. I love Huel. Huel can mess up my plans any day of the week.
That is the truth. It is I should have told you the golden rule of Huel is that whenever you're with him, he will disappear at random times and you just don't worry about it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that from when you guys had him in Nerdtacular
and Vegas.
And so when he disappeared, I wasn't totally worried, but I did kind of want to meet up with him and get some drinks too, because we went out, got some lunch, and he was nowhere to be found. It's like I wanted him to eat, at some point.
I know. Are you going to eat at some point in the next 24 hours?
Yeah, just get some food in your belly because I don't want you, to pass out.
This is the man that slept in front of a slot machine in Vegas because he didn't know how to find his room. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for him.
Did he ever get to his room in Vegas?
Yeah, eventually he did.
Okay.
Yeah, but Trey was like, well, the two of them were rooming together. And it was like, well, whenever he decides to show up, the room will be there for him. So
is Trey one of those guys that gets all pissed when things aren't in order? No? Okay.
No, not for that kind of thing. Yeah. When it's something that he's explicitly planned and things don't go right, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when it comes to that, he's very much a whatever kind of guy. when it doesn't involve him having to plan it and him be responsible for it.
Right.
So, yeah. So that was, and I literally when we were at Nerdtacular, we met Huel and he was gone for a few hours. That just and then it was 6 hours, and Kane was like, where's Huel? Oh my God, what happened to him? I'm like, don't worry about him. Seriously, he's not going to be bored. And it's so true because Huel will find the most random stuff to do and he'll come back and report about it. So
his phone died, so we're trying to call him to find him.
that's typical too.
His phone is dead.
After all this time, we would expect that Huel would actually get one of those battery packs, but that would require remembering it.
Yeah.
So, I love you, Huel. Don't get me wrong. It's just these are the things that don't matter to him. So it's like whatever. So
You learn a lot from Huel.
He's hilarious. He is one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And it's just, don't expect him to be at a certain place at a certain time unless it's like he has promised that he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I see a new /moo in my email to Tauren Think Tank Twitter.
Okay.
I'm just making you aware of it.
Must have come in late. Yes, there it is.
Yes.
I got it. Thank you. I don't look at it after we go live, so I'll get it in there now. That's what she said. That was like a jokerang. It just waited to come back to you.
I got Ben texting me. I'm not listening.
I have Ben stories. I have Ben
good.
stories for you, and you are going to laugh your ass off. So, and it's Tetsemi. Hi, Tetsemi.
Well, Tetsemi, is this your first time here?
He's come here a couple times, but I got to spend some time with Tetsemi over Nerdtacular.
Yeah.
Yes, I have silver nails. They're silver with black tips this time. That's what they look like.
Is Tetsemi a nice dude, or is he kind of a jerk?
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the bestest.
Better than Ben?
You're gonna make me choose?
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. They're both awesome. They're both amazing.
Like, I can choose between my kids, Gilbert and Buster. I choose Gilbert.
They're not your kids. They're your fur kids.
Yeah. Well, Buster's kind of an asshole.
And Ben and Tetsemi are not. Those are not my kids either. So don't make excuses. Oh, it's not Wednesday. It's Sunday. I have to change that part. Today is the 13th. There we go. Sweet.
Sweet. I don't see. I have notes in there from Wednesday. I don't remember what I was going to say about any of this stuff.
Well, do you want to change that? Because it just kind of go with it. I have a long list because I just have some bullet points that I want to remember. So
I'm going to go to your list.
Okay.
That's all. I'm going to pick up your stuff. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to use your notes for my stories.
You're going to use my notes for your stories.
Just totally going to make them up.
This is going to make great show podcasting material.
It's going to be the greatest show podcasting material ever.
I had to get another massage today for my neck and shoulder because it was hurting so bad. And I feel like I got the crap beat out of me today. So
By your masseuse? That's not right.
It's medical massage, dude. It's
you're still going through that?
mm-hmm.
How much longer?
As long as it takes.
Did you call
the insurance
Huel yet?
company? Huh?
Did you call Huel yet?
Not yet, but the insurance company is still hanging on, so that's good. But I'm going to physical therapy now, and I'm going to get these medical massages to try to break up all of the knots that keep forming from this.
Oh.
It sucks. So.
You go into the masseuse and be like,
Masha!
masseuse me?
When she starts working and I go, oh gosh. It hurts. It hurts.
Why do I still have your Bucky in here?
I don't know. I don't need Bucky anymore.
I don't need Bucky anymore.
You guys know Bucky.
Now you say word.
I still have all my stuff. It's hot down in my basement. Why is it hot down here?
Probably because it's summer.
Yeah, but it's usually nice and cool. I'm freaking out now.
Because it's summer and the heat is trapped in your house?
In summer.
Oh, God, no. Don't do that.
Why?
Don't do that. Don't do the Frozen thing because then everybody starts to get, Frozen, stop thinking that sucks.
You're so sick of Frozen after being not sick of it for 6 months.
I know.
Sick.
Everybody at Nerdtacular was like, "Don't say that. Let it go. I'm gonna have to break out in song."
Bunch of nerds. My God, get over it.
I know. Get over it, nerds.
Saw some really good Elsa cosplays this weekend, but not any good Anna cosplays.
No?
No. It's weird. And they were all together, too. So you'd think like the good Elsa cosplay would rub off the good Anna cosplay, but not true. Not true.
Oh, you know what's over my shoulder is that's my futon, which the camera had to move around a little bit. There's a futon back here. And if you're lucky, the cat will kind of jump up there and you'll see him. But
I hope so.
He's in the window right now. Kind of hanging out.
All right. You ready?
And I'm doing that on purpose because I know what's going to be over my shoulder. Okay, I'm ready. You have to do your ritual.
Oh, I got a headache. Damn
it. You're slapping your face? Is this part of the new ritual?
Yeah.
Okay. You good? Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah? You stretched your arms and you did your mouth tornado and did your Kermit flail? That's attractive. Well, that's pretty.
All right, you ready?
Yes, let's do this thing.
In 3, 2, 1. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Rem.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I don't want to do it anymore.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, it was Jules' birthday yesterday, but I don't feel like singing the whole song because, I don't know, that might get annoying. It's a long song. You ever think of it? Happy Birthday is really a long song.
It is, and
what
then
it
you have
is.
to pay royalties for it, so you gotta just like do the little snippet.
Oh, screw that. No royalties here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 107 of Tauren Think Tank. It is July 13th of 2014. It was supposed to be July 9th of 2014, but Rem lost his internet 5 minutes before showtime. It is 10:01 in the PM on the East Coast. And then in my notes here I said it is a special Wednesday episode of Tauren Think Tank, but it's not because it's a special Sunday episode of Tauren Think Tank. I'm Rem. I'm all over the place. I'm radioactive again. And that's Jules. She just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Jules. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I got older. I got kind of monumentally older, if you want to put it that way. I turned 40 yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Now we have to find a new co-host.
I know. I've aged out.
Ageism.
I've aged out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We were actually going to be planning on doing the show on Wednesday, and 5 minutes before we were ready to go live, Skype went meow.
And I thought it was Jules. I'm like, Jules, what are you doing?
I know. I thought it was me too, actually. Yeah. And then, no, I got this text from Rem, and he said my internet died. Mm-hmm. And as it turned out, everybody's internet died in the entire area that you live in.
That's right. My very busy farm area with old people. Bunch of guys and gals who are 40 years and older. Older.
See, that's payback for you making an old joke over somebody who's...
Yes, because I can't even talk tonight. So fantastic.
Well, there's a reason why you can't talk tonight, because you've had a pretty busy weekend. I had a pretty busy week, and we were planning on, getting all my stuff out of the way, because I had gone to Nerdtacular and had all this stuff, and then it was, going to be up to ConnectiCon. So you guys are going to get both of our stories, the sets of stories from our big epic weekends from the past 2 weeks.
Well, you're not getting all of my story because I can't tell the whole thing because I don't remember. So I'll tell some of it, I guess.
All right. Well, why don't we start with some of the stories you can remember about ConnectiCon this weekend?
Well, real quick, going back to my notes from when we were supposed to do this on Wednesday, I was on Azeroth Roundtable last week. They've already recorded another episode, so who cares?
Who cares?
But it was John and I while Ben was away, so check it out because we had a good time. And I discovered that my favorite time in game was during Cataclysm, Jules.
You discovered this from
the show? There's a cat walking by you.
Yes, there is. Camera. That's Garrus. Hi, Garrus.
Yes, my favorite time within World of Warcraft was during Cataclysm.
Okay.
That's when I had the most fun playing.
I think that's about fair because there was so much going on during that time. You're raid leading.
Yep.
And we were progressing really, really well.
Great group, a great guild up until a certain point, and it was fantastic. Lots of fun. So, yeah. So, you guys who hate on Cataclysm, screw you, because Cataclysm was awesome. Thank you. And then, okay, so this past weekend, we weren't going to podcast this weekend because of ConnectiCon. And we got together. We had a great time. I'm really worn out. I'm very tired. It was kind of nonstop, just moving and shaking and little drinking and having fun and all that sorts of stuff. Met some awesome people. A couple of people came to visit us, like our friend Noodles, who came. He lives in Connecticut, so he was there. We hung out with Noodles for a little while. And most exciting was my friend Chris OC from Twitter, @StupidGameTweet. He came all the way up to hang out. And here's a funny story. I had tweeted him or texted him. I got his number. I said, "Hey, man, where are you at?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm almost there. I'll see you in a few minutes." Like, okay. Let me know when you get here. I'll tell you where we are. So my group of people, my entourage, if you will, Jules, we're going down the escalator, and then coming up this escalator is a man in a blue shirt and a bald head, all by himself. And he goes, "Hey, told you I'd find you." And I looked at the guy and I said, "Oh, hey, cool, buddy. Good to see you. Glad you can make it." And then we go all the way down, and then Huel says, "Rem, I think that was Chris. You just totally big leagued that dude." I'm like, "Oh my God, was it?"
Oh, Rem.
So I sent him a text message like, "Hey, was that you, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, man." So we went back up the escalator and chased him. I ran after him because I didn't want to lose him.
Oh,
it's like, "Hey, we're going to hang out.
gosh.
You want to come?" And he's like, "Yeah." So it was funny.
How embarrassing is that?
Well, here's the thing. You got the convention full of people holding signs that say free hugs, signs that say free shrugs, and then people giving each other high fives up and down the escalator. So I'm figuring this dude was just like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Thinking of somebody else, because who am I? But no, it was actually Chris OC. Nobody recognized him. We've never seen a picture of the guy.
Oh, that is funny.
Except for Huel, who was so perceptive, said maybe that was Chris. Yeah.
That's funny.
So the highlight of the weekend was us. We took a trip. Cause I told you before the pre-show, but ConnectiCon has gotten a lot bigger in the past couple of years. They've had to move different events to different hotels, and they have like a whole video game arcade, with classic Nintendo all the way up until the PlayStation 4, and they have tournaments and all this sorts of stuff going on. So we wanted to check that out, but that was at the Hilton, which is another hotel, a shuttle ride away.
Sure.
So we hopped on the shuttle to head over there and checked out the video games for a little while. And the shuttle ride was a blast because it was packed. We were like sardines in there. It was great. No. We got into the Hilton, and we spent a few minutes watching the video games, and then we hit the bar. And that's where the night really became a lot of fun on Saturday night with our big group of people.
Uh-huh.
And it was, what was I don't remember. Oh, Chris and I, we peed together at the same time.
This was a moment.
Yes, we tweeted about it, which was cool. I'm sure he was looking forward to that moment all evening. And then, so we had a few drinks, and we needed to find a way back to the convention center because we had a podcast to do. But we did not know how to get to that convention center from where we were, and we were determined not to take the shuttle again because we didn't want to wait for it. So we're wandering the streets of Hartford. Only one of us is sober, and that would be Starscream, who is 19. He has not had an ounce to drink. We said, "Hey, Starscream, can you find the way back to the convention center?" And he says, No, he's not interested in finding the way back.
Okay.
So leave it to the rest of us to find our way. So,
Oh no.
So I get this brilliant idea because we're supposed to be podcasting at this point to pull out my iPhone and start a podcast.
Uh-huh.
And we podcasted drunkenly through the streets of Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay. Stranger things have happened.
Yes, but this was great. I listened to it earlier today, and it came out pretty well.
Oh, good.
Finally made it back to the convention center, and we finished the rest of the podcast. So I will be releasing that on the Storm Redcast, you guys. It'd be ConnectiCast 2014 early this week, possibly tonight.
Ooh.
I haven't decided yet. Depends how tired or overtired I am later. Yeah. But ConnectiCon was great. It was great to meet Huel. It was great to meet Jen. It was great to meet Chris and meet Noodles again, and everybody else who came to say hi and hang out with us for a few minutes during the podcast. We had I love ConnectiCon. ConnectiCon is such a great event. We went to the Pinky and the Brain panel. You know Pinky the Brain?
Oh, of course. I watched that religiously.
Yeah, there was Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche did a whole Q&A, which was amazing. They read Green Eggs and Ham as Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, dude.
They reenacted a scene that somebody brought up in their iPhone. They found a script somewhere of one of their favorite episodes. They reenacted a scene. It was amazing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And then I went down and got their autographs. I shook their hands. Like, oh my God, you guys made my childhood so much better. And they said, Rob Paulstein, love your podcast. And he's like, oh, thanks for listening. And he shook his hand and shook Maurice LaMarche, Emmy-winning Maurice LaMarche's hand, Emmy-winning See, Emmy winners. I'm famous now, Jules, by association. Yeah. So no,
I love how you were taking pictures of you with them with quotation marks by you taking a picture over your shoulder with them in the background.
Yes, that would that's so Jen and I were in line to get these guys autographs. And so they stood up because somebody was getting a picture with them. So the two of them were sitting next to each other. So we started snapping pictures. And a security guard came over to us and was like, hey, you can't do that. You have to pay them money for pictures of them. So I'm going to let this one slide. But next time, we're going to have a problem.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we got yelled at for taking pictures of them.
Oh, I know. That is typical, though, at those cons. It is.
But it was great. And I even bought my kids stuff. I bought my son some Pokemon cards and my daughter a retired Hello Kitty princess doll.
Nice.
And yeah, it's good times. All 3 days were amazing. I'm glad I went. It's like
Good.
It's like taking a vacation. You know, and sometimes you need a vacation for your own selfish purposes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So
anything else that you wanted to talk about from that?
no, not at the moment. As I remember stories, I'll tell them more.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough.
I'm wiped.
I know. And we, it was hard for us to reschedule. We had to reschedule till tonight, and I knew you'd be tired, but we wanted to make sure that we had a show. Everything was still fresh in our minds after the experiences we've had. So
Yeah.
So
Good times. Jules,
yes.
come on, you've been waiting a whole week to tell me.
I know.
I want to hear some Nerdtacular stories.
Oh gosh. Okay. So 2 years ago, I went to Nerdtacular and I talked about it on this show. And this year, it was different for us because it was in a new venue. It's at the Snowbird Ski Resort outside of Salt Lake City, and it is a completely different experience physically going to that resort because you're going 8,000 feet above sea level. And I have never been on a mountain before. So I was like, I'm reading all this stuff and it's saying, you're going to deal with issues if you might get headaches and you might, going upstairs might be more challenging because of the low oxygen. Your feet might swell. And I was just like, oh gosh. So, of course, like the first day we're there and I'm going up a flight of stairs, and a flight of stairs is not a problem for me normally. And I'm like, trying to get up the stairs. It is painful, dude. Like and then of course, like most of the food where you'd go and get like the more cheaper food was down this massive hill. And so you'd go down the hill, no problem. Come back after you've eaten a meal and you're just like, oh my God, just gasping for air going up this damn hill. But it's beautiful. And one of the cool things about Nerdtacular is that because everybody is there to support the different podcasts with the Frog Pants Network, everybody has that common ground. Everybody has the same fandom. So it's super inclusive. You can just kind of bump into people and they just know. You just know that they're nerds. You know that they're there for Nerdtacular and you kind of give them a nod and a smile. And it's really, really cool. And it's all walks of life. Young, old, different hair colors, no hair, lots of hair. It's like, just really, really cool. So the first day we got there, we wound up meeting some folks who were really fun. And there was a lot of gaming going on in different spots. So we would just sit in different places and play like Cards Against Humanity or different other games. They had a whole gaming section set aside with hundreds of different games, it seemed like. And but one of the coolest things about that was bringing your iPad and playing Hearthstone with people.
That's cool.
On the same subnet
Yeah.
of playing people. So everybody was like after this card back because we were all on the same subnet. So that was really fun. But we played Hearthstone against some of the top people out there who are doing shows like the Angry Chicken podcast. They were there with all their hosts, and Kane got to play against one of the hosts, and he actually won. So he was really excited.
Yeah.
So
Who did he beat?
Experience, he beat Garrett. He beat Garrett
That guy
Weinzierl.
sucks.
He's really good. So But we had, and it was seeing old friends, meeting new people, all that stuff. One of the funniest things about this whole experience was that Ben from Azeroth Roundtable was there.
My buddy.
Your buddy, your pal. And when he saw me for the first day, he came up behind me and he just stood behind me. I was sitting at brunch and he just kind of stood behind me. And people kind of gave me that look like, go on your shoulder, Jules. Like, kind of poking their finger up. And I turned and I'm like, ah! Like, I turn around. He gives me like this crushing hug. As it turned out, the standing behind me, like within inches of my head, was the thing of the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He did this. I am not kidding. He did this at least 15 times.
I love that.
He got stepped on by me because I didn't know he was there. It was just, but so Ben was like the stalker, and I started calling him my stalker, which was awesome. But he got me one point where he came up behind me and he whispered in my ear and he goes, "I'm here." And I screamed. I just went, "Woo!" And just like yelled. And Tetsemi, who is in our chat room, he is one of the coolest people. I got a chance to meet him for the first time. And he was there as well. And there is a picture. I'm sitting there at breakfast. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he just holds up his phone and goes, click. And I'm like, "Oh," smiling for the picture. And then I realized Ben is standing behind me again. And everybody at the table goes into hysterics. And I'm like, I am so glad I am not like a total, I don't get freaked out by people coming up behind me. Because every time I turned around, he was there, literally. So
that's our Ben.
He's a good, it was really funny. We had the best time. We met so many really cool people. I got recognized by my laugh. Like, I was sitting at a panel, I was sitting with Kane, and I was talking, and something he said made me laugh, and the guy in front of me turns around and he goes, "You're Jules from Tauren Think Tank."
Oh my gosh.
And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh my gosh, like, I love your show." He was just sitting in front of me, but he heard me laugh.
Did he ask about me?
He did. A lot of people asked about you. A lot of people are like, "Where's Rem? Why isn't Rem here?" I mean, literally, we rode up the tram, like the shuttle from the airport to the mountain, and both people in the van with us knew about the show. And I was like, "You're like, yeah, you're Jules from Tauren Think Tank." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's really weird." So that was really funny. And I had people coming up and saying hi. Really sweet, just saying how much they enjoyed the show, and it was just, that was fabulous. So
did you tell them I don't really exist?
I said, "You're kind of a figment of my imagination,"
Yes.
And I prop you up in the corner. But yeah, there were a lot of people who were asking about you and wondering if you could make it, and so I said maybe someday, because it is a really awesome time.
I hate conventions.
I know you hate them so much. I met Russell Brower.
Who's that?
Russell Brower from Blizzard, who
kidding.
makes the music.
Yeah. Did you tell him his new song is boring?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I told him I really liked it, and he said, "Well, it's going to change because it's just a
Because it's so
prototype.
boring. Good.
It's going to get better." So, yeah. So there were so many stories. Like, we got a chance to go up to the top of the mountain, which is 11,000 feet. We took this big old tram car, went up to the top, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm really afraid of heights." So, but it was amazing. And it went so fast. It went so quick. You were just blinking and but so many awesome people that we love, that we've talked to. It's just, they were there. Somebody asked in the chat room, "Is Scott Johnson really that tall?" And the answer is yes, he is that tall. So he's a very tall man, but he's awesome, and so is everybody else.
How tall is he?
He's 6'4".
That's tall.
Yeah, he's very tall. He's very tall. So, and the other thing I wanted to quickly mention is that there's a girl that I met at Nerdtacular 2012, and her name is Julia. And Julie and I had kept in touch over the last couple of years, and what I didn't realize is that she was engaged to a guy who actually works for Blizzard. Well, I knew that part, but I didn't know what he did. And so she introduced me to her fiance. She brought to this Nerdtacular, And it turns out that he's one of the lead system designers for WoW. And I was like, well, okay, that's awesome.
Did you start
And so-
yelling at him?
I did not yet. I didn't. We talked we talked about a whole bunch of different stuff about, things, and then Arcane started getting into things that he'd like to see as a mage to get better. And I'm like, don't
Jesus.
talk about work here, please.
Freaking Arcane.
This is
Leave it to
work
him.
for him.
Leave it to him to bring work into everything.
I know.
God, Kane.
But Julie and John were fantastic, and they took us out to dinner for my birthday, which was fantastic. I had a blast. But I mean, I can't even list all the people that I met because it was just so many, and they were all fantastic. And I know that a lot of them are listening to the show, or going to listen to this show. And I want to thank them all for all of the fun times that we had. I mean, playing Cards Against Humanity, drinking dollar beers with shots, hoofing it up, backing down the mountain, sitting and watching these panels and enjoying those, and just, it was awesome. So, and we're going to be having yet another meetup coming in a couple of weeks. If you're around the Minnesota area and you want to hang out and do kind of this fun experience thing, you could come to the Minnesota meetup, which is going to be on July 26th. It's a Saturday, and it's at the Herkimer Pub in Minneapolis. Herkimer. So, yeah, 3 to 7 p.m. It's Minnesota meetup, Saturday, July 26th. So if you want to hang out with me, Arcane, Pat Crane's going to be there. The guys from the Super #1 podcast are going to be there. Andrew and Kevin. Some folks in the chat room are going to be here. Midnight's going to be there. I know Ladra, Jessica Chaos can't make it, unfortunately. But there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be there. So come to Minnesota.
I forgot to tell 2 stories.
Oh, tell us 2 stories.
The first one is during the Yakko. He does the voice of Yakko too. During the Pinky and the Brain podcast, we lost Huel, and we lost him for about 4 hours. He disappeared. We couldn't find him anywhere. Then we found him again. So it was funny because he called me. He called me on somebody else's phone.
Called him on somebody else's phone.
Called me
Who's
from
this?
Yeah, he called me from Noodle's phone and said, "Hey, I'm over here. I got lost." Also, they had the Japanese drum machine games again that Fit and I need to have a competition on every time we see them.
Yeah.
And I beat him the first time, beat me the second time, so we're even. But look at my camera. Can you see that?
Yeah.
See my
There's
hand?
a black spot on your hand.
I'll show that chat room. Okay. That I got from the stupid Japanese drum machine.
Wait, what is it?
It's a blood blister.
A blood blister?
I got an injury, and I need to sue somebody for it.
Oh my goodness. You got a blood blister from Japanese drumming.
Yes, because we do it hardcore, Jules. We don't mess around.
I don't.
No.
I got injured from that. I know there's going to be 100 other stories that I forgot, but these are the things that I wrote down. So, but yeah. There you go.
Are we having a show on the 26th? I mean, obviously not having a show on the 26th. Are we off that week?
We can do the show on Sunday if you're available. I'll be home in the evening.
Think so?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it. I thought we discussed plans. I guess we haven't.
I don't think we did, so we'll talk about it. But I will be home on Sunday if we want to do it. We'll talk about it after the show, though.
All right.
All right.
What's next?
We have to talk about a little bit of Doghouse stuff, and I actually have another Nerdtacular story related to it.
You need to tell us about Doghouse because you were there last week.
And Doghouse was there too. I got a chance to meet Kim Price, who is the representative for Doghouse. She's also on the Ladies of Leet podcast and Catching Up With podcast with Johnny Feisty and Ralphie. But she works for Doghouse. And Doghouse they had a booth there, and they had panels from the different things that they do for customized panels, and Tauren Think Tanks was there. So she grabbed me. She goes, "Jules, I want you to sign this panel that we have here." So I did. I signed the panel. It's the Tauren Think Tank logo, one of the ones from Slash Loot. Really cool. It's on that panel. And they have made that panel that's signed by me available to you guys. The first person who wants to get it can purchase it through Doghouse Systems and get double the memory off your gaming system. So you can get the one that's signed by me.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's incredible. So if you place your order now for brand new Doghouse Systems at doghousesystems.com, you could potentially get the signed Tauren Think Tank panel by Jules Scott herself.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Slash Moo on it, and it has my signature with a little kitty next to it.
A kitty. Jules, we do a Tauren. What are you doing, Jules?
It's my signature.
Oh my God! It's a Tauren think tank, not a kitty think tank. Ugh. DoghouseSystems.com. Enter TTT at checkout. You'll get double the memory on your brand new gaming system, the greatest gaming system on the planet. You know it. We know it. Just do it. It's July. Christmas in July. Treat yourself. We got an expansion coming out. Good games. Just do it. Why not?
Why not?
All right. So we're going to do some think tank now. Well, we got, think tank, right?
Yes, let's do think tank.
Torn between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
I didn't look through the notes before we started the show tonight, so I don't know what's coming up next.
Even though I told you about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. We're going to start with an update that we got this week. And I think you guys will remember this person from previous shows. Hello there. You may remember me from some time back. I'm the one who needed help in making the decision on whether to take a break from the Bristol Renaissance Fair, where I had been performing for the last 14 years. With your help and some soul searching, I made the decision to take the break and let my director, fellow castmates, and friends know about the decision. Then, after the fair season was over, I made the second biggest decision of my life when I cut my hair that was just past my waist into a pixie cut. Well, now that the fair season has started, I think it's time for an update on what I'm doing. I have just started my 15th season performing in RenQuest as Vashta Nerada, the Irish gypsy. No political correctness in the Renaissance. Wait, what? I guess you could say my director caught me in a moment of weakness, or maybe it was the horrible Wisconsin winter we were going through. She's right about that. He messaged me in mid-February, basically asking if I was sure I wasn't coming back. After a bit of conversation, I decided I needed the energy, fun, and amazing companionship that only the Ren Fair can give me, and I said I would return. Even though I was still ambivalent about the whole decision/undecision thing, as soon as the gates opened last Saturday, I was back home. As a side note, for whatever reason, I had the best patron interactions this past weekend than I can remember in the previous 14 years. So yeah, Mama's home. So when you come to Bristol, be sure to say hi to Vashta in the RenQuest camp, maybe even come play with us. We need more champions to help save Bristol from the evil Draco disciples. From Vashta and Vashta Mama from Wormrest Accord, reported for Awesome.
That's fantastic.
This is actually what I love about her update is that she's like, yeah, I made the decision. And then I decided it wasn't the right decision. And that's okay. Because I think when you talk about things like needing a change in life or wanting to do something else after doing something for 14 years straight, and it's just, and for her, if you remember, it's a long drive for her every weekend. She drives to Bristol, which is a lengthy drive. It's like 2-3 hours for where she lives, and it's warm out. You're dressed up. It's labor intensive. Plus, you're taking your weekends to do this, but totally something that she absolutely loves. And I think she found the love in it even more by deciding maybe not to do it this time.
I think because she freed herself from it, she was able to enjoy it more. She found that she could make the decision not to do it, even though she went back to do it. But she did make a decision to stop. She cut her hair.
Yeah.
But so when she went back, she possibly felt free from it and then could enjoy it more. It wasn't a job. It was something she wanted to do.
Yeah. And I think this is a really good reminder to people in all things. I think especially right now related to WoW, when you think about the things that you're doing and maybe not doing and feeling like it's a job or feeling like it's an obligation, or, your raid team has been going on for X number of years and you've always been there, but it's not fun anymore. Is this the time where you do need to possibly consider making a change or something to kind of shake it up a little bit because it's not fun anymore?
Yeah. When something's not fun, don't force yourself to do it anymore. Just that's when you want to take a break. When things stop being fun, that's when you have to stop for a little while. Yeah,
that's very true.
Totally.
It's very true. So I loved this. I was really surprised to see her email and to see what happened, because she was very, really, really ready to just be like, I need a break. I want to garden. I want to have time at home. But when you come back and you're like, this is even better than ever, that's a win. That is a win.
Yep.
So very cool.
Thanks, Vashta.
Yes, and good luck. And I'm thinking about coming out there this summer,
You
so we'll
should.
have to. We should to do that. We need to make some plans with Kane before before the summer's over already. My gosh,
Put
it's
cane
like,
and train kilts and then go for it.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I have a medieval outfit.
I
I
know you
just
do.
have to put it on. So okay, our question of the night. Are you ready?
I am.
Right. Hello, Rem and Jules. I have a problem that I'd like to hear your opinion on. This has affected many facets of my life. It has caused me to quit jobs, hobbies, and games, and to lose contact with many friends. I guess it's my personality, but I tend to go through cycles of finding something that interests me, obsessing over it and getting too heavily involved, having my interest wane, putting too much pressure on myself to keep giving 100%, inevitably quitting and cutting myself off from the people involved because I don't know how to scale back and I no longer enjoy it. The loss of interest usually coincides with being asked to take on aspects of responsibility. For example, being asked to be an officer in various games or a mod on a forum. I totally messed up being a committee member on 2 sports groups at different times and left those clubs. Becoming anything more than an individual contributor in a job also causes me to want to get out. The other part of the problem is that I can't bring myself to say no when someone asks me to take on this responsibility. It's gotten to the stage where as soon as I start feeling like I'm approaching that point, I get panicky and have to disappear. This happened to me last Christmas, and wow, I sent you a mail about joining a flex team, and 2 weeks later, I found myself doing anything rather than log into that character. And then again last week when I joined a normal raid with my random invite guild. I know I would enjoy this game more if I could partake in the social aspects, but I don't know how to reconcile that with inability to manage the stress of having people rely on me. I'd love to hear what you both think and if this is something that a lot of people can relate to. Keep doing what you do. Love the show. From Ed.
You gotta learn how to say no, Ed. Don't do those things that cause you not to enjoy the game anymore.
Yeah.
I know you might feel bad for somebody, and people don't generally take offense to the word no. They ask you, hey, do you want to be an officer in this guild? And if you say no, generally it's like, okay, thanks for your response. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
You're not really hurting anybody's feelings. But I mean, if you're finding yourself not enjoying things because you end up doing more, just more responsibility involved, you just gotta use no. Just say no.
But you know what? Saying no is so difficult for some people. And I know those people because I am one of those people. And it is very challenging because here's a couple things why. Number one, he's in a position where he's had this happen to him before, where he's doing something, he's really enjoying it, he's totally into it, and he shows abilities or aspects of his personality or something that really makes people want to say, I think you can do more, and I want to put you in a position of responsibility. So someone comes and approaches him and says, hey, Ed, I'd love to see you if you would be interested in being an officer or a leader or a coordinator. And that is validation. It's validation, and it makes you feel good. When someone actually takes the time to notice how good your skills are or who you are, and it's hard to say no to that. It's hard to say no to somebody who says, I really admire you and want to see you help us out. But at the same time, it's like, it's not what he wants, but he's also thinking, well, I'm going to let them down if I don't say yes.
I disagree. I mean, if you know that's going to lead you to not enjoying something, it makes it easier to say no because, yeah, there's somebody giving you high praise and compliments, but you should know your limits. You should know yourself. And if you know taking on more responsibilities is going to cause you to have less fun, that's when you need to say no. And that's when you need to, I appreciate your compliments. I appreciate you thinking so that highly of me, but I don't have interest in anything like that. But thank you so much for thinking of me. And now moving on.
Well, listen to his cycle. He finds something he's really interested in, then he gets really heavily involved in it. And then it gets to the point where the interest doesn't stay the same anymore. And then he keeps feeling like he's got to keep going because he put all of this effort into it. And that is typically happened when someone comes and says, hey, do you want to help out with being an officer or being a leader or something like that? That's when at the point, he says the loss of interest usually coincides with being asked to take on aspects of responsibility. So you made a really good point, Rem, and you said you got to know your limits. But how many people out there do you think really truly know all of their limits on these things?
Well, Ed does because he was able to list it all down.
Yes.
Um,
And that's the key right there, is that he's starting to recognize what they are.
Yeah, a lot of people
Habits.
don't notice, and so I mean, my words really aren't for those people. But Ed made a list. He knows what he goes through. He knows exactly what happens. That's the first step to being able to say no, because right there, obsessing over it, getting too heavily involved, my interest wanes. That's when you know you should say no. You know, he's started the process of self-help, self-diagnosis.
Well, it is. It's totally about self-diagnosis. And there are some people, I am one of those people who has a hard time saying no. And I am one of those people that when I start getting involved in something, typically someone will say to me, I'd really like you to help out with, with this or that. In most jobs that I've been in, I've been made a leader or a supervisor or something like that, because it's just who I am. I don't do it well. I don't stay very engaged if I'm not in a higher ranking position for long. But what happens to me is that I'll get overwhelmed by something or too much of something or too many things. And then I'll have to pull back and say, you know what, this isn't the time for me to do this right now. I need to step back. I need to, and then inevitably, just when you get out, it pulls me back in. It's literally just this cycle that and over time, I've gotten much better about trying to know what my limits are, to know how much time I can commit. When I said to myself, I'm going to raid 3 nights a week for 4 hours a night, that was insane.
Yeah, it was.
But I did it for 5-6 months. I think I did it.
So crazy.
And it was painful. And I had to say to myself, as things were starting to disintegrate, I was like, this is not going to work for me anymore. And I pared it back to 1 night a week. And then, over time, it's been, maybe once or twice a week, but it's kind of stayed at that level. And it's never gone back up to that level again of, 4-hour nights 3 times a week. I just can't manage that. But I've filled that time with other things. I've now gone to 3 podcasts a week instead of 2. So there's things that but I commit the time in there because I need it. I need to be busy. I need to. And
Why?
It's really funny because, well, that's a really good question. I don't feel right if I'm not being productive. But then it's a double-edged sword, because if I'm being productive and I have a lot of responsibilities of things I can do, and I have all these balls in the air that I'm juggling, and I always feel this pressure that if I let something drop, then something's going to go, things are going to go to hell. It's an ugly cycle. But it is the thing of a multitasker. I am a multitasker. It is something that I do really well. It's something that I enjoy doing, but it's also my double-edged sword. It's my double-edged sword. Because there are times where I'm like, I would kill just to have a night off tonight. I could just go to bed at 10 tonight. This would be awesome. That kind of thing. So.
See, for me, I started doing too much between rating and podcasting and more podcasting. And it became overwhelming. It's like I didn't have any more time to myself. All my time belonged to other people.
Yeah.
And I got sick of that.
Yeah.
Even doing the Monday shows for Game of Thrones, those started to build up on me. 2 more. It was another committed night to something else.
Yeah.
So I needed to step back. That's why I stepped back from rating. That's why I don't do a show every Friday like I had been for some reason. So I just really have this show on Saturdays is my only real commitment. Well, whenever we do the show. And so I'm very leery of taking on another project because I just don't want to lose that extra free time because I don't have so much free time.
Yeah.
And I like being able to have it. So I guess I learned how to say no to myself at some point because I didn't like being so busy, being so committed to other things.
Yeah. And you gave yourself the freedom to do that. And a lot of people can't say that. They can't say that they can take the time or, there are people out there who just truly believe that they can't stop doing all the things that they do, because they have this obligation to whatever, to themselves, the pressure that they put on themselves. And a lot of times, which is what Ed also says, a lot of times it's pressure that you put on yourself instead of, and it comes out in really negative ways to the point where if you just stopped doing the things that you were doing, you'd be a lot happier and everybody around you would be a lot happier too.
Yeah.
And that is a big thing for people. It's a big thing for people to realize how to step back, how to just say, I've got too much on my plate. I need to let something go, or I need to delegate it, or I need to change things up a little bit, and be okay with that. It's not always the easiest thing, but it's the best thing for our mindset. But it's really funny because, like you said to me, I feel like I need to do this. So I'm still dealing with my accident injury, with this whole thing. And I got a massage today, and my massage therapist said to me, she said, "Oh yeah, you were traveling last week." And I said, "Yeah, well, we had that vacation planned since February." And she says, "When do you slow down?" And I said, "Never." She goes, "Yeah, you don't, do you?" And I said, "No." And for me, it's like, no, I don't have time to be injured. I don't have time to have neck and shoulder issues. I don't want this. I don't need this. I've got too many other things I want to do or have to do or whatever it is. But it's funny when people say to you, "When do you slow down?" It's like, I really kind of don't. And I guess people have that like impression of me everywhere. It's like, "Oh, I know how busy you are. I know how busy you are." It's like, I hear that all the time. But I like being busy. I'm destructive when I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad. I mean, when things get
Set fire.
Well, it's just I'm destructive. It's like I get negative, like it's mentally like destructive. I get negative, I get frustrated, I get anxious, I get moody. I need to have stuff to do. So so Zarakim in the chat room said the question, Jules, is if you don't have time for that, but you are, when do you have time to heal? And I just, I make the time when I have to. It's like I'll go get the massage when I need to. I'm going to physical therapy once a week. It's like you make the time for it. You figure it out. Mm-hmm. But when you're in a position of knowing that there's a cycle like Ed has, where he gets into something and he gets really, really, really into it, and then all of a sudden it kind of fades away because something stepped in that didn't make him enjoy it anymore, then you've got to identify, what is it that makes me not enjoy this to the point where I'm going to just want to do something else? Because I don't get that way. I don't get to the point where I'm like, I got to do something else now because this is boring me. I get into things that I know that I'm going to enjoy for the most part.
Right. So, I mean, back to Ed here, though. I mean, you've heard us, Ed.
Yeah.
Jules can't stop. Rem can't stop. You got to find where you fit in that. If you can. I mean, you've identified your symptoms.
Yeah. The thing, you and I have actually talked about this privately before, but there's a certain personality type out there that we've seen several times in different situations that get super like crazy into stuff. Like crazy into stuff. And it's like all they can talk about for, weeks, days, months. And then it's moving on to the next thing because they got bored with whatever it was that they got so into and told everybody about and was made this big stink about. And that is the person, to me, that is just never happy with anything. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't sound to me like Ed is that person. He doesn't sound to me like he's getting into it. It's the trigger point is that there's an aspect of his personality that people find appealing, that they want him to be more involved with this task or game or whatever it is, and he doesn't want that, but it's trying to avoid saying no to it. And so, but how do you say no to things? How do you tell yourself it's okay to say no? And it's literally just knowing what your limits are and say, I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate you thinking so highly of me, but I need this time for myself. You can be selfish. You can say, I just want to, for now, this is good for me. I'm good.
Yeah. You're totally right. You just got to know your limits, and that's how you say no. Thank you, but no thank you. Yeah. It's really that easy. You just got to convince yourself of it first.
Well, and there are people who don't know how to take no for an answer when it's like, hey, I really want you to be an officer. I really want you to be my raid leader.
It's annoying.
And it's tough, when someone's like, no, dude, you'd be perfect at it. Like, I've got all this stuff. And, they give you all these great reasons why it should be the best thing ever. And it's just, you have to just know what you want. What is it that, the time that you spend, the time that you want to spend doing it, and then just staying the course. This is where I want to stay. I'm happy at this point. This is all good. Let's do it. So
Zerikim, I think, puts the final nail in this coffin here. It's okay to be selfish as long as you're not a butthead about it.
It's true. It's true. But, it is, I think, the toughest challenge of it is to feel all of a sudden that there's an obligation when someone asks you for help. And that's going back to 2 weeks ago when you're asked for help and you're like, I just got to say no to you. I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the problem asking for the help. So when I go in and someone tells me no, it's like, oh, like that horrible thing. But it's not a bad thing to say no if you're just truly honest and kind about it. It's like, nope, I'm sorry. This really isn't what I was in this for. But I appreciate you, thinking of me and appreciate that you thought I would be a good fit for this. Unfortunately, it's not time for me to do this or have this or have that. You can use whatever reason you want, but it's okay to actually practice saying no and try to get a little bit better at it, because we all just want to please people. We want to help them out. We want to, make people feel better. But yeah, that's I think your biggest challenge is just making sure that you know what you want when you get into something, and that if you know that someone's going to approach you and say, "Hey, Ed, do you want to be a guild leader or a raid leader or something that a committee member?" No, I'm good. But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So
thanks for writing in, Ed. Hope we gave you some stuff to think about here.
Absolutely.
Good luck in the future. Thank you for writing to questions@TaurenThinkTank.com. Everybody, if you have questions for Tauren Think Tank, send them to questions@TaurenThinkTank.com. We love answering your questions, and we'd like to see more of them. Jules,
Rem,
are you ready for some Tell Us One Thing?
Oh, let's do this.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
All right, Jules, you ready?
Ready.
All right. You are stuck with the gang from Gilligan's Island on said island. Is it called Gilligan's Island?
Yeah.
No, I mean the island is actually called Gilligan's Island.
I guess it is. I guess it's
That'd be weird if Gilligan actually landed on Gilligan's Island. You can replace any two of the characters on the show with characters from Warcraft. Whomever you swap in will still, much like the professor, not be able to get you off the island. Who do you swap? Remember, this is a sitcom, not Survivor Ungoro from Will Seiler.
Oh, let's see. So you want to switch the characters of the show out at two of them.
You want
I would take
Jules.
I would take the skipper. I take him off because he's annoying, and you got to leave Gilligan on there because this is damn island. I'd probably take the professor out, and we'd put let's put in Bud, the guy who falls off the ship everywhere because he's just crazy.
Oh my God.
You know, Bud.
My
You don't
God.
know Bud.
I know who Bud is.
Yeah, put Bud on the island and put him in place, and then we'll grab let's see, we'll just grab some Anduin Rin, blah, and put him on the island and make him blow bubbles on everybody.
Jules, you're not even thinking this through properly.
What?
Okay, you want storytellers, people to keep you entertained and amused, okay? So first of all, you remove the two old people, the Howls. You get rid of them, okay?
Okay.
And you replace them with one, Prophet Velen, because he's like 1,000,000 years old and has a ton of stories to tell.
Yeah.
And also Sourfang, because he's got a ton of stories, war stories to tell. You'll
okay.
never go wrong listening around a campfire to these two. Oh, gosh.
I still think Bud on the island would be damn funny.
Oh, get out of here,
Gilligan and Bud.
Oh.
Hey, little buddy.
Oh, Jules. Oh, my God. Bud, stop.
Come on, it's funny.
It's hilarious.
All right. From Muzzy_AIE. How do you fight the summer end of expansion blahs?
You give in to fate and you stop playing until the expansion comes back.
I am struggling with this. I will be completely honest. I am struggling with this. I haven't been able to raid for 2 weeks because of all of my schedule craziness and being on vacation and stuff going on and then rearranging things for shows. So it's, if I'm not raiding, like I said, I'm bored because I raiding is what I enjoy to do. So I've really thought about this. I'm like, should I still haven't boosted a character? I don't know if I'm going to before the expansion comes out. I've thought about taking up a new class and playing something I haven't played before, but it's like, do I really want to level again? So I'm struggling. When I get into this, I look at something I haven't done before and I try to do more of it. You know, is it Brawlers Guild? Is it PvP? Boy. Or something like that. So I'm still struggling with it too. I think that you just need to find what it is that keeps you in the game and keep focusing on that. If it's, you know, friendships or raiding or PvP or crafting or gold making, find it and keep doing it.
But it's okay to take a break too.
It is.
Sometimes you need a break.
It is. I've, you know, the 2 weeks that I've been not raiding, I've still been in the game on and off doing, you know, dailies and that kind of stuff. But it's not as fun as it used to be. I am anxiously waiting.
From Memeth, Deathwing is back and he just launched a fireball at a city of 100,000 people. But you can do the killing blow now. But you can also stop the fireball. What do you do?
So you can either kill Deathwing and the fireball hits and kills 100,000 people, or you stop the fireball and Deathwing lives.
We're missing a critical piece of information.
What's that?
What is the population of the world?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be kind of doing the Captain America Winter Soldier little bit of calculation there.
Yes. I think you have to, because if the world's population is 300,000, you're about to lose a third of it. That's not good. So you might want to stop that. But if your world's population is like 200 million, 100,000 is a drop in the
100,000 out of
bucket.
200 million.
Yeah.
Well, you could be the Indiana Jones, you know, the superhero kind of thing. Dun, 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 and you could stop the fireball and launch the killing blow at the same time.
I'm pretty sure the way you stop the fireball is the same way you launch a killing blow, so you could probably do both.
I mean, that's being optimistic.
Yeah.
Emeth is giving us no choice here. But I would say if I had to choose between the one or the other, I would stop the fireball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would work on killing Deathwing.
Okay. Yeah, because I think you're right, because I think you can stop the fireball, and we're full of heroes, because we're all heroes. I think we could band together and bring the killing blow down after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From one Jason Blue, barring real life events, what show, TV or otherwise, would you want to see live as opposed to recorded?
Definitely Survivor.
You want to watch Survivor live?
I would love to watch Survivor live, because there's all the stuff you don't see on TV. I would love to see all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Survivor behind the scenes interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stuff just sounds so great. Some funny stuff happens, or some, you know, planning, and yeah, I would like to be able to watch that and see, even for just for a day.
Let's see. I think I would love to be the fly on the wall watching the new Star Wars movie be filmed. To see how they make it, what tricks do they use, you know, what are the things that they're keeping intact from the other versions to something that they're doing new. That would be damn cool.
Do you feel like it would spoil you in the movie?
Well, yeah, it would totally spoil me in the movie, but I don't care.
No.
Like I'm at the point right now where I'm so excited about this movie that I don't need to be. There are certain things where I'm like, do not spoil this for me. I need to experience it. And then there's other things where I'm like, I just want to know how it's all being made and how it's all happening. And that's Star Wars.
Are you more excited for Star Wars or the Warcraft movie?
Star Wars.
Okay, me too. That's the right answer.
I mean, I'm excited for the Warcraft movie. Don't get me wrong, but the lore for the Warcraft movie is not as strong for me. The Force is not as strong. Yeah, the Force is stronger, I would say.
From Jen Morton01, is there something you've always hoped you would get in a food tasting because you secretly want to try it?
You know, I don't think so. Because the food tasting, I kind of come into it knowing the food tasting is going to possibly be grosser than gross.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things where I know that I would probably have to just draw the line and say there is no way. And by the way, we forgot to mention this, but we actually have a discussion with Ro we're going to be on Realm Maintenance next week, and we talked a little bit about the food tasting.
Yes.
And there's a part in there about whether or not which thing would we have to refuse if it were sent to us.
Mhm.
Not that we're wanting to give anybody ideas. So you'll have to listen to that episode for the next Realm Maintenance, because we were interviewed for the show. And I'm not at the mode where I'm like, oh, I secretly want to try it. You know, there are some certain candies and things like that from different countries that would be really cool. But other than that, I'm like, whatever you guys want to send and make us laugh and make you laugh for making us laugh. So,
Jules,
yes,
can you see this?
I see something. I
This
see
is-
a CVS bag.
This is one of 2 bags, one of which is headed your way.
Oh,
This
okay.
was given to me this weekend.
So this is the Jen Morton care package.
This is the Jen Morton care package part 2. So I will be sending that in the mail to you.
She was evil the last time, so I have a feeling that she's also going to be part 2 evil.
Yes. From what I've heard.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard, and it may be hilarious. Secretly wanted to try. I mean, if I wanted to try something, it's generally something I would like. So I'm going to have to answer no, because I think if I was eating something I liked, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't think of anything off the top of my head because I've tried all the stuff I want to try, pretty much, that I can get. So, but that's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. And from Mugaiver, beetroot on a hamburger, yes or no? Also known as pickled sliced beets for you guys.
All right, real quickly, I'm going to say yes. I've never tried it, but I do like pickled beets, and they're pretty good. But I have a
I've
question
never
for you.
actually tried pickled beets, but I liked pickled stuff.
Yeah.
Most things I liked pickled.
Okay,
So
beets are good. So we're going to say
Yeah.
yes, MacGyver, but here's a better one for you, Jules.
Yeah.
A fried egg on a hamburger.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do them here.
All right, fantastic.
It's pretty common actually out here for fried eggs on a hamburger.
Crazy Wisconsiners. I thought it was
We are
hilarious.
crazy.
Yeah. All right. So that'll do it for Tell Us One Thing tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Tell Us One Thing is fun. Check out Tell Us One Thing Thursdays at Tauren Think Tank on Twitter. Jules will put out the call. You go ahead, send them in, or you can send them to us through email or Facebook. Questions at taurenThinkTank.com or Facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank.
Yes,
We got a little feedback.
we do.
Feedback.
People have actually said to me that they didn't realize that that was recorded, and I say this every time. It's recorded that he does that, but he did it live on the show, and then he took us. Yeah, so it sounds like you do it live every time, but that you do it the same time. It sounds the same every time because it's a recorded bit.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right, from Sokatep. A quick note about asking for help. This is from our last episode, 106. Being human is all about relationships. I think that when you ask someone for help and they choose not to help you, it says more about them than it does about you.
Mm-hmm. From Posh Paints, thank you at Jules RPG and Tauren Think Tank. I have been accused of relying on being too independent and withdrawing because of past disappointments. I rarely let people in, and I expect people to let me down. XOXOX for sharing. Definitely light bulb.
I got a lot of feedback from you guys, specifically to me, thanking me for the discussion that we had about asking for help and my own challenges. That was really, really nice of you guys. Thank you. Because it was a little hard for me to open that up and be, very candid about these challenges that I run into. And it was great. So you guys really reacted. And a lot of people said, oh my gosh, Jules, that is me. I deal with the same thing.
Our audience is awesome.
Yeah. We have one of the best audiences out there, and that is no lie.
Yeah, you guys rock. Hey, Rem and Jules. I started listening around episode 95, and Triple T has become one of my favorite podcasts. I could gush, but will refrain and simply say thank you for all you do with the show. After recent discussions about LGBT representation in gaming, as well as WoW, I came across this Cataclysm quest in Badlands, where 3 NPCs are telling tall tales about punching Deathwing in the face. The final one has the NPC turning into a male orc on a motorcycle and can only save one of 4 companions. The companion options are various scantily clad female toons and 1 scantily clad male blood elf, all of who have emotes to entice the male orc to pick them. During the quest, the male orc explains that he shares a tender moment with the companion of choice. Just thought I would share that find, and he included a couple pictures of the orc choosing the male blood elf.
Yeah.
Thanks again for the awesome podcast / moody of both. from Mumu Kachu, Tauren Druid on Proudmoore.
That's an awesome name. I love it. And that I thought was a really cool. That was a really cool way. I'd never even remembered that quest until he pointed that out, and it's like, yeah, that's true. And so I love that was brought out there, and that there's diversity in the game. It's not it's not hitting us in the face. It's just there, and I love that.
Does it need to hit us in the face?
I don't think so. Because we can get into a whole different discussion about that whole thing, but there's no need for it to hit us in the face because it's part of our lives.
Right.
Now.
That's right.
And every time there's something in the news about an actor, a famous actor or actress who's come out as gay, and I would just pray for the day when that doesn't have to be news on every single outlet of every single page.
You can just be you.
Just, it's okay. You're just who you are. If you're gay, you're straight, who cares? I would love to see that day. And it's not for anybody to not get the recognition that they deserve, but it shouldn't be front page news that someone came out as gay.
Mm-hmm.
It drives me crazy every single time it happens. So I think it's awesome. And we have screenshots of this one. And it's from the Cataclysm quest in the Badlands, when 3 NPCs telling tall tales about punching Deathwing in the face, if you're interested in finding it yourself. Okay, our last feedback letter was one that kind of came right before I was ready to leave for Nerdtacular. And sometimes we get letters to our mailbox that just makes us stop and really appreciate truly what a great audience we have. And this is one of them, so enjoy. Hey, Jules and Rem. I am writing to tell you guys why Tauren Think Tank is my favorite podcast to listen to. When I first got into listening to podcasts, I was sort of trouncing around through all the various WoW podcasts out there. I'd had my general gaming podcasts, WoW Nude podcast, and I say nude?
Yeah,
WoW News
Nude podcast.
WoW News podcast.
Yeah.
An Endgame podcast. But it wasn't until I heard Relb Maintenance talk about you guys having a call-in show that I decided to give it a download and listen. And I'm really glad that I did. Hearing you guys talk to your fans and hear an impact you guys already had in the WoW community. I think this was like episode 50, something or other. I can't remember the exact number. And more importantly, you guys had a sincerity when you talk with your listeners that I like to hear in my hosts. Something about what you two have done in the show just simply works. Hearing your everyday lives and how they intersect with your playtime, the jokes that you share with your fans. Masha! And never losing sight of your motto, the WoW podcast. Thank you. The WoW podcast for the WoW player. You guys have helped in giving advice to so many players about their troubles, including some of my own. When all some people really need is just someone who will listen. That is why every Monday morning when I drive into work and I see one notification in front of your title card, nothing else matters on my unplayed list. I want to hear the next episode of Triple T. /Moo to Arcane, Fit, Rem, Jules, and the Moo Crew. Thank you for being a part of my life. From Warrior, from Airy Peak, US on CTR Kazakh.
You're welcome, Warrior. Thank you so much for writing in. It's amazing.
That makes me just smile like crazy. And just thank you. Thank you and to all of you guys who tell us that listening to Triple T is the thing that you look forward to the most in your week, that you make sure you listen as soon as the episode is out. That means a ton to us. And even if it means that you have to wait a week and a half to listen to us, I had someone who said to me, I don't listen all the time, but I do listen. And I said, well, I thank you. And this happened at Nerdtacular. I thank you for taking the time to listen when you can. And I had the opportunity to tell the Marsha story again at Nerdtacular for those who had never heard it before. And people were so excited because there were ones who knew about it and were so excited to hear me do it. And then there were the ones that were just hearing it for the first time and going crazy and just being like, that is awesome. And when you realize that story we are on episode 107, and that story started from episode 10 of this show, that is something to behold.
Warrior's in our chat room tonight, so thank you again, Warrior. Thanks for coming out to the chat room.
We love you, Warrior. You're awesome.
Warrior, you get our first /Moo of the night. That's right. Jules, let's do some slash moves.
From Al the Mage, a.k.a. Ben from Azeroth Roundtable, slash moo to Jules RPG for not minding that I was extremely creepy during Nerdtacular.
Creep. From Ranimal CTR, if it's not too late, I would like to give a slash moo to Kazakh and CTR for helping me with my legendary cloak.
From Haster, slash boo for the Texas weather cooking your brain even on short walks, but slash moo to the CTR Saturday night spicy water raid I was in.
It's the best kind of water. From Azeroth Roundtable, slash moo to at Ivory Tiger, at Everstudious, at Eludra _AIE, at Apple Cider Mage, at Rowow, and at Medicakes for calling in on our last episode.
And from Jen Morton01, slash moo to Remgar, Heelhauser, Noodles, Stupid Game Tweet, and Fit for an awesome weekend at ConnectiCon.
This is true. It was an awesome weekend. From Zafira _AIE, slash moo to at Memeth for being awesome, and at Sick Plays for his stream and arenas the other night.
That's awesome. You guys, slash moos are the way that you tell everybody that you know how cool they are. So you can send them to us and we'll read them on the show.
That's right. So thank you guys so much for those slash moves. You can find us on iTunes. If you do find us, subscribe to us, leave us a review. Those are great. 4 stars, 5 stars, or otherwise. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to us. You can subscribe, right?
You can subscribe. Yeah, on Stitcher, you can add it to a playlist.
Add it to a playlist and thumbs up and leave us a review. That's the review thing that's new. I'm so tired.
You're so tired. I know. That's why it's a bit of a shorter show. Let Rem get some sleep. But we are going to come back next week with a full-length show with all the great details and stuff and all the good stuff. We're planning it out already.
BlackBerry Podcast Directory and Xbox Podcast Directory. Jules, what's going on?
All right. So this week, we got the return of That TV Show on Tuesday night. You can see it live on thattvshow.net/live. You've got another episode of I Remembered It Better. We did one last week, and we were all tired and sick. So this week, it'll be a lot better. It was fun. We did a great show. It was just Ryan was tired, I was tired, and Cliff was sick. So we are going to come back this week. That's on Thursday. And then we're going to be on our normal time on Saturday this week. Oh, my gosh. Our normal time.
Wow.
The heck. So that's what's going on with me. How about you?
Well, there's a slash moo in the chat room from Lori to Jules for leveling up yesterday.
Oh, thank you. I turned 40 and it's okay. It's okay.
I don't want to get anybody's hopes up or raise expectations, but ConnectiCast 2014 is probably going to be the greatest thing you ever listened to.
And when will it come out?
Sometime this week, hopefully by tomorrow, hopefully no later than Tuesday. So, yes, tomorrow being Monday because this is Sunday. But ConnectiCast 2014, what?
It's like ConnectiCast with a little bit of liquor fueled in it.
Yes, it's kind of like the rebirth of liquor fuel, just for one night at least.
Night.
We've got us walking drunk through the streets of Hartford. We've got our interviews with cosplayers at the convention center. And at the end, there will be a reading of, if we can get the audio down, hopefully, a reading of Green Eggs and Ham by Pinky and the Brain.
Awesome.
So look forward to that on the Storm Redcast. That's at Storm Redcast on Twitter. Just look at my Twitter, too, because I'll be tweeting. I'll be excited. And stormredcast.libsyn.com. I think that's it.
All right.
You ready to bring it home?
Let's bring this baby home.
All righty. Let's do it.
Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
You can find us outside of the show on our website, torrenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us. There is also a donate button on the site, so if you like what we do and would like to support our show by sending us a donation, that's a great way to do it.
And you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank and keep up with all the weird scheduling things that we do on both sites. You can find Remgar at REMGHAR on Twitter. You can find me, Jules, at JulesRPG on Twitter. You'll hear all of the fun stories and pictures, like lots of pictures. And you can also chat with us and other members of the Moo Crew on our forums. Give those boards some love at forums.signalsmedia.com.
Special thanks to Arcane Kane for being here tonight in the chat room, for his wrangling and his voiceover work, of course. He is wonderful, and he's a great gift giver, Jules.
He is a great gift
Such
giver.
a
He gave
sweet
me
man.
a beautiful birthday present, an iPad mini. Made me sick. I'm so happy.
You have a mini. Don't forget your triple t-shirts at slashloot.com. You should autograph your own mini. 3 designs to choose from in different shirt colors. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight on a special Sunday night edition of Tauren Think Tank. Generally, we're here Saturday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern Time at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank, which will be next week. Come hang out in the chat room, you guys, because our chat room is awesome. They
are the best.
That's right. We love seeing you all here with us. And of course, if you're listening to us on the download, I know the future. I know what's going on. You're listening to us right now. I'm pretty amazing. Jules,
Rem.
any last words?
We'll be back next week with less tired, less con stories, and more Tauren Think Tank. So come back on Saturday and join us, won't you?
Or will we? That's right.
We will.
So for Jules, for Kane, and for me, until next time, /moo everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really?
Masha! Rem is right.
Yes, he is. Your video went dark.
What?
Your video went dark.
That's okay.
That's okay. There
It's
it is.
only yours.
I know. So, yeah. So, we wanted to make sure Rem could get some sleep tonight. So, yeah. So, we're going to do this one a little bit shorter, but this will be good. We got some stuff. We've got some stuff saved up from the last couple weeks. So, we'll be good to do a full show next week.
I'm going to leave that part in. I recorded that. I'm just going to leave it there.
What? The whole thing?
What you just said. I'm just
All
going to leave
right, fine. We got stuff.
it. Good night, everybody.
So we'll post this show in a little bit.
What's this episode? 107?
107. Do we have a title?
Double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword.
Unless you want to change it.
No, double-edged swords works.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
You said it a whole bunch of times.
I did. I tend to repeat that stuff. It's me. Oh, my neck is killing me. Oh, so sore. I got the crap beat out of me with massage, and it was like, oh my gosh, all these crap things. So, ooh, Lori's gonna try fake nails for the first time. They're fun. They're weird though. With the first time when you start hearing yourself click on the keyboard. So, Yule made it home too. Right at the end.
Is he still traveling?
He must have just gotten home. He said he was at the airport when we were in pre-show.
I don't believe him.
Believe everything he says. I will be working on getting better. It's just a slow process apparently. So. Oh, midnight. This for that TV show this week. It is Vikings on Amazon Prime. So we watched the first episode. It is interesting, and we have we've got 2 episodes to watch. It's pretty cool. It's very Viking-y.
Viking.
Very Viking-y.
Viking-y. All right.
Excuse me.
I've got nothing funny to say. Do you
I
want to say
have
goodnight?
nothing funny to say, therefore I must go.
I must go.
Yep, we've got some show notes to write, show to post. You guys are fabulous. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday with weird schedules and all that stuff. But we'll be back on Saturday. Rem will be rested, right, Rem?
Maybe.
Please.
I have to go to the airport next Saturday, pick up my dad.
Oh, your dad's coming home from Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you talked to him since he's been gone?
I talked to him once. Yeah, we called him.
Oh, good. Is he having a good time?
Not really.
No?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll be well rested and happy and go lucky and all that great stuff.
Thinking about it, Doctor Who podcast. I would love to. I don't know if I want to do commitment though.
Yeah. It's kind of August. August is coming out.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Such moo. Now, I like Doctor Who time travel.